It did it! It gave me all the things I wanted!
I really can't believe that. Just want to see a couple of shops, and the game's like, how many?
Okay, how many and where did you want them? Okay, and what did you want in them?
Delivered win.
Okay.
Hey, do you ever just play the full doppelganger here, by the way?
Did you want the event between them for I Am Rich? Yes? Okay, cool. Yeah, I was
with
gonna...
full golden standard delivery, that'll come out to one YouTube video, please. Wow, I can pay with that? You accept this?
I was gonna go with a Blur Dagger Spray, lose all of my Thorns, take no damage, but then get the Orichalcum and keep that to the next turn with the Blur.
Oh,
then
that's a clever line. Yeah, I like it. Sure, yeah, that's pretty smart. That's pretty rad. Blurring the Orichalcum is an interaction that has never occurred to me before, because how often do you really get to do that?
Mm-hmm.
That is super cool.
Again, testament to this game. How many times do you get to learn a new niche fun thing?
Like a brand new thing, right? It's only in Spire. What a cool game. It's why it's endured the test of time. You know? Like how many games? The truth is, it's more than I give credit for, right? Like, I imagine as kind of a good example that if you're the kind of person who would go very deep, I bet if you play Counter-Strike, you're still learning a lot 2,000 hours in.
Oh,
but
yeah,
it just feels very different. It's not like this. You're learning something like cerebral, 2000. You're like discovering a new interaction versus learning more about positioning and lines and getting better at snapping.
I mean, also, there's a couple extra complicating elements there of like execution is in this game.
Right.
Can you click the cards, basically?
Right. Which you've learned in the first several seconds.
But also, like, this game, while patches were being delivered, obviously had an evolving meta, but it no longer does. Whereas those games, you are constantly learning what other people are doing.
In most cases.
Changes.
Yeah, that's a good point. Even in many... Oh, yeah, it's no contest. Okay. So, there are many things in this shop. My proposal, if you're interested...
Is orange pellets remove?
Orange pellets remove acrobatics, actually. Having one more acrobatics without ring kite it's valuable redundancy.
I like it. I want to meme it up too much and take this and have more ability to use shivs every turn, but...
I don't even think it's that much of a meme because of Envenom and Shuriken. The problem is then we have 2 of our 7 cards are Infinite Blades on turn 1, right? But you know what? Here's a real consideration. If we're about to go card remove, acro, orange pellets. What's left? Oh, that's like all of our money, huh?
Yeah. If we did infinite and remove, we could still go to the next and do another remove. And I will say, as we remove these 2 strikes from the deck, our incidence of triggering the Shuriken is going to go down a little bit.
A little bit, although with the acro and a blade dance, the math gets weird, right? Like the cloak and dagger and the blade dance are so good at that trigger.
How about we go acro remove?
And skip pellets?
The pellets obviously have the giant value. We're both thinking, I imagine, about turn 2 against the heart, removing all of those negatives.
Yes.
But I really want the money to remove the next one. Am I over focusing? I am over focusing on that, aren't I?
Barely. I mean, I don't know. The removal is really good, but that's a huge amount of block versus the heart, right? And we haven't found the footwork yet. So I'm at the point to where I am starting to get just a little bit worried about how we're going to answer the massive block requirements of the heart fight.
Yeah, I haven't felt we've been scaling for that as much as I would like. The blur was obviously a nod towards, I think we are going to be able to scale enough for that we even block extra, but it's not yet come to fruition.
This is the legendary deck of the olden times. The legendary silent double ninja deck, right? If we find kunai right now, we are so made. Pick up 1 dodge and roll, and that can literally do it. Even against the heart, I think. With 1 more source of weakness, we're there.
So, should we then just go for, I don't know, 4 elites, try and find that kunai?
I'm kind of interested. Hey, what do you think about this calculated gamble?
We have so much draw in the deck that, yeah, it's just a good choice. It's also the hovering kite trigger.
I don't think we need another Caltrops, right? I feel okay.
Between Calculated Gamble and all of the Acrobats that we have in this deck at this point, the thing that we did in the previous fight against the champ of just constantly trying to get to the Blade Dance and using that for the scaling is way more viable in more circumstances now.
Yeah. And finding all the other stuff. Like first cycle, we find Envenom on average in 2 turns with a 25 card deck. Whoa!
Hey, do you like 10 max HP more than you like that doppelganger?
I do.
Me too.
I do. That's a lot of block. Doppelganger was definitely a good pickup, but it was nowhere close to the top of things that I wanted to see from the gold card selection there. I think that event looked a lot different if it were some of the other things we mentioned. And we're full health now, which is the kind of thing that opens us up to that just straight wild elite path that you just suggested.
It's totally normal and it's fine. This is going to be a reasonable thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, like, 3 elites and then we just rest and heal all the way back up.
If we can live through 3, we might be able to.
We have no powers left in deck, so we're not hitting the orange pellets next turn to clear the debuffs.
So you're suggesting maybe the risky dagger spray?
No, I'm justifying why I'm not doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Don't want to end up with that the next one.
These are the kinds of turns to where this is exactly the kind of place where Panic Button is so good, right? Just that burst block. But I think it's okay. We'll just switch him up till we get something we like. That's awesome. Blur it up maybe, huh? Blur, backflip, acro kind of thing, kind of situation.
Let's see what we get from backflip first. Whoop. Can't pass up the scaling. Need to scale.
Must scale. You're required to scale, boy.
I'll take 6 damage for some scaling there. It's the idea of the same kind of avocado fight last floor.
This is a classic situation where I have no idea what voice I was achieving there. That was like God of War Kratos dad mixed with Bane or something.
I think there was like a 10% Emperor Palpatine in there as well.
A little bit of
a bit Palpatish.
Embrace them. Embrace your anger.
It will lead you to power. Hit a giant.
The more you do that voice, the less sense it makes. That's this each time.
This one has been used this turn, right?
Has it? Did we survive? Did we? I don't know. I don't think it did. I think we're going in.
Oh, it happened. Yeah. I mean, we still found basically exactly the same hand because we're just going to double defend him.
Calculate and find Pierce here?
Oh, okay. Let's go for that then. I like it.
Boop. Boop. Oh, the Blade Dance was calling you.
It was. Why did it have to be that hand? And why do you have to be the writhing mass? Hopefully this is the only one we find.
Look, it's going to be in like every hand. We're going to find it many times in this run.
Okay, I trust that. Oh, finally getting a neutralized as well. I don't actually want to cycle that one. That's 15 damage back to you. Just block, take 1.
Hey, that's a good point.
Especially with how much we rely on multi-attacks, it's just hard to get damage under that sometimes.
Yeah. We might just win on this turn.
1, 2, 3, 4, and then dagger spray for kill.
With our combination, front-loaded scaling, linear damage scaling with Caltrops, and ooh. Hey, I think this Noxious Fumes is still relevant.
Still? Really? It's
yes.
Awaken one is our final fight.
So that's true. That's hella awkward, and we might have to choose not to play some of these powers there. In every fight that's not Awakened one, it's an energy and orange pellets proc, and helps us with our scaling with the poison.
Okay.
I am a little nervous about a woke bloke, but at the same time, I think that if we find any scaling block at all, we just deal with woke bloke by we can afford to not play our powers more than usual because we have so much acrobatics. We just leave them as injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And this deck will have to choose not to play some, but I think that that's okay.
I'm pretty comfy with that. The other, I like that. The other ones are going to be, or rather, Dono and Deca. Wait, hang on. Do they trash our deck yet? When do they start putting the days in?
Days is it not already happening? Oh, I can figure this out.
Don't remember.
Luckily, we don't have to fight 2, but if we did,
Mm-hmm.
we would be ready. Oh, and we don't have to play any powers against Wokebloke because we scale our damage with Shuriken. So as long as we can kill the cultists quickly, which we could even do with potions, then we can afford to go power free. And if we're incredibly lucky, we find a malaise. And I like to think that we're fairly lucky.
We definitely have been. Totally agreed. Hey, Crippling Cloud, thank you for finally showing up.
I'm looking up in the background when Donu Deca change.
Perfect. Thank you.
Oh, they're doing dazes from the beginning.
From the beginning. Okay, cool. So yeah, we, like, the other ones would have trashed our deck, so this is just us trashing our deck for the sake of the boss. Helping them out a little bit, yeah.
The part that changes is it's not until the Ascension 19 bosses are tougher change when Deca starts getting plated armor.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why it's easy to forget. And at Ascension 19 is when they get the 3rd artifact too. Wait, no, that's purple change. That might be bosses are tougher. Bosses are tougher? Oh my gosh.
Let's take the max HP and run away from this one. Do we actually want to take the attack potion over one of these for the sake of the cultists?
May I see our path? I think right now we're picking potions for our elite gauntlet, right?
Well, yeah, it's gauntlets over to the left.
I think. Do you ever drop Vuln for attack here and just go attack and flex?
Vuln is such an important part of our finisher against Giant Head, though.
Okay, crazy concept. Do you ever drop liquid bronze here?
Yeah, that's
so,
what I'm
right?
happy with.
Because I honestly think that our damage profile against the heart looks pretty good. And I think we can afford to use all of our potion slots right now to focus on the fights ahead.
Crippling Cloud for free?
Love it.
It's my birthday? Oh my god, and an acrobatics for free, so I actually even get some energy back from that one. Thank you, hovering guy.
It's still happening. We didn't talk about this earlier, but Mummified Hand definitely makes some like 2 and 3 cost skills a lot more exciting. You can get even more energy out of it.
It's just a shame that the Silent doesn't necessarily always have the ability to capitalize upon that.
True, but we've definitely done it. I mean, if you hover over Mummified Hand, what does it tell us about this run?
Per turn, it's half an energy.
And per combat, we're sitting on 2.5 energy compared to Hovering Kite, which is probably per combat averaging like 3 right now. 2.2. Boss relic. It's so crazy. It's wild.
Throw those 2. There we go. Try and start out a whole new cycle. Love it.
Just do it again. We got that Shiv back.
If doing it the first time was good, doing it again is going to be better.
That's just science.
It's just how it works. Linear scaling of literally everything in the entire world. There's no such thing as too much of a good thing.
What if I tell you that our universe is not linearly scaling, but actually rapidly expanding and accelerating?
No, that doesn't jive with the thing I just said, so it must not be true.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
We should throw that theory away. That seems ridiculous.
With the amount of draw we now have, is it deflect?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's relevant for Wokebloke too, right? You just asked the question, how are we dealing with Wokebloke with all this power? And I think one of the answers is we need some good incremental block while we're scaling up. So I think it's a good choice.
Are we about to experience the first turn down of a power potion with all of these relics, these potions still in hand?
Oh, geez, man. With orange pellets and with a mummified hand too? That's pretty tough, isn't it?
The mummified hand makes it really, really hard.
I don't know.
I sincerely think fear is too important in the giant head fight for closing it out after we've gotten a decent amount of strength. I think flex potion's probably the easiest for us to drop.
If we think that attack potion does as well as flex for taking down daggers in Repto, then we can drop it for power pot. Oh wait, no! Don't throw that flex potion away. We have orange pellets.
Oh
God! That's like a carry to the heart situation.
Yep.
I had forgotten. Yeah. We might. Okay. Wait. We might want to play it in this fight. Actually, it may just be worth it to play and lock in flex potion for this fight. That might save us so much. It is a common potion. Not to say that we're guaranteed to find a flex or speed potion, but clutching 2 of our potions desperately might be exactly the kind of thing that we don't want to do here.
Okay.
We've like solved this fight now, right? And that might just be worth it. Especially since turn 2 can represent 100 damage or something crazy. I guess at this Ascension, we're only getting 1 dagger still. So it's 25, 25, 32, 50, 82, plus 9, only 91. My bad. Not quite 100.
That's a solid Envenom, Caltrops, Infinite Blades, 7 strength opening turn.
I think it's good enough.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, we also did 70 plus 20, 20. It also did like 130 damage. 110, around there.
You think we're strong?
I don't know, because we have 3. This says 3, so we're not strong. We can't be.
That is too small. You make a good point. Sometimes it is that simple.
What we gotta do is just go make that number larger.
How do we make this number big? I was playing a run of Risk of Rain. I appreciate you, by the way, for those who are kind of following along from home. I first attempted that Risk of Rain 2 challenge last week, and I failed. But the path to success is paved with many failures, so I'm excited to do it again. But afterwards, I did some science runs. Ooh, do you want to bottle anything?
You want to make the number higher?
Yeah, this tactician's great.
Let's have a look at our options for the bottle. Like, we could legitimately put the dagger spray in there for the 2 AoE attacks that like the elites at the start of the next fight, but I don't really care about the dagger spray until it starts scaling up, but it would mostly be for the chumps in the awakened.
But in that case, even it's not so bad to get some strength online for a turn or 2 first, right? You know, I think if we're bottling anything here, it's neutralize. That's kind of our anchor.
Yeah.
Right. It's a 0-cost attack on turn 1 too, but that's kind of awkward with the infinite blades. I like it all right. Or quick slash. I like Neutra. I think that was the right pick.
Yeah, at the absolute least, like the awakened one rather is always attacking for a reasonable amount on turn 1.
Yeah, like 22 and then 22, right? And with Paper Crane, 40% block. So we're blocking of that 22, 2.2, 4, 8 points, so 9 off because of rounding. 2 turns in a row. So it's like an 18-point block. Yeah, that's a pretty good bottle. Yeah.
Pretty dang significant, it seems.
Anyway, the quick and dirty of what I was saying is after failing this run, I did some science runs to just try to explore the game and learn some things. And I had one run set up to where I just aimed to get the biggest health number possible. And in a typical run of Risk of Rain 2, your health numbers say things like 100, 200. If you're multi, maybe it even gets to 1,000. And by the end of this run, my health number said 100,000, which was very exciting.
So I don't know the item set in Risk of Rain 2 as well as I know the item set in Risk of Rain 1, but I have to assume Infusion was involved.
Infusion was involved and then was multiplied by, of all items, Personal Shield Generator, which is frequently considered one of the weakest items in the game. But it was delightful to put the pieces together.
Yeah, just hold those out of the next cycle as well.
Blade Dance is here!
It's here! And, oh, you gotta love the giant head having a really bad time there.
God, I don't think we're gonna need Devon Pot here.
Ooh. I would be very glad to see that we don't.
I think the Tactician might be the difference maker, actually, which is kind of incredible.
It's so good. And also, because the deck, despite, having 27 cards in it, a decent amount of them are powers that are going to play out, as well as exhaust cards that are going to play out. So we have a relatively small in-play deck still, especially considering the extra draw that we have from the acrobatics. The acrobatics are pretty much always good to play because of the hovering kite. And we get to take advantage of having a thin deck because we're just constantly cycling back to the same tactician.
It's the deck wind chill effect. 27 cards, but it feels like 18.
Mm-hmm. I like that comparison for it.
I've been trying to popularize that. I hope that it catches some momentum. It also means that this one blur we can actually like sometimes cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Stack that blur.
Keep a... Yeah, I'm gonna cycle both of those out of the next cycle.
Sure.
Because neither of them
That's
is
such a
tactician
cool
or blur.
piece of tech, don't you think? That's the kind of thing that that's one of those tools that you pick up when you're learning the game. And when you start to think about purposefully playing or not playing cards to affect your discard and shuffle, that's one of those moments to where you really start to feel like you're gaining some level of mastery.
100% agreed.
So much agency in that decision.
The management of those kinds of things. It initially did intimidate me, I will admit. But it's actually a lot... in most circumstances, obviously, there are significant equations you need to work your way through for some of the characters and some of the interactions. But it's not as intimidating to start managing
No, you build an
as
intuition.
it usually would be.
Yeah, because you get a little bit of dopamine every time anyway. Do you want the Cloak and Dagger, though?
I do want the Cloak and Dagger, but just having a look at the Predator for a second here. Just looking at it a bit closely, because we do pretty much always want the extra 2 draw the next turn. I don't know if we have enough consistent excess of energy from the Tactician to use it, though.
Yeah. I don't know. I was kind of entranced by that hand. My eye was rotating between Predator, Cloak and Dagger, and actually just Skip. Like you said, the deck is rotating like a charm right now. I think the second Cloak and Dagger was strong. Honestly, within a few draws, I think Cloak and Dagger is just a better card than Predator. And I think we have enough saturation of acrobatics to make it so.
7 damage on the first turn.
Take it. Card draw.
Exactly, it was for the card draw. Planned.
Looks like draw to me.
Come on, and Tactician, no!
We can go again.
Well, I mean, then we draw 2 cards, possibly hit the Tactician. I mean, or, I don't necessarily think that's the play
I don't
here.
think so either.
Just piercing well,
Just
take no
block.
damage.
Agree. We're going to win so soon. Look at all that damage.
Oh god, yeah, they're all poisoned. When that happened?
I don't have any clue, but whoever did that is awesome. I like that guy.
Must have been some sort of a fairy that just came into the area, had managed that.
Speaking of fairies, what's on your wish list now for this deck? Because to be honest, I don't think it needs really any more common cards. Like, would we say no to a Piercing Whale or Cloak and Dagger? Maybe. What do we want?
I don't want cards as much as I want this to be either the Shuriken or the Snecko Skull.
You mean Kunai, I guess?
Yes.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Agreed. I think even maybe Kunai above, just because of how much... It seems like we're scaling well enough, you know? But they're both incredible.
I forgot that was about to come up, so I just instantly cast the 2. I could have just left it.
Hey, wait. Do we have Minty Spire on now? Oh, it's here! Oh, yeah.
That's it. That's the answer to the question.
Yeah. That's huge. That's huge, and notably, none of those cards were rare. Which means... Did we see any rare cards in either of the previous Elite fights?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so either. I think our rare chance here is pretty high.
I'd like to see it burst.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Hopefully the powers start decreasing the cost of one another here. Nope. Come on!
Everything else. That's unlucky. Not a single hit.
It's okay. We still get a bunch of triggers of the Shuriken.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes I look at Dagger Spray and I'm like, okay, but you could be 2 attacks. Why aren't you 2 Shuriken procs? You act like 2 attacks.
That's basically what you are. Just
lean
make
in.
it official.
Yeah, exactly. Embrace.
And little bit.
Do you like this intangible effect? It's kind of neat, right?
Yeah,
it's a good reminder. And look at the purple. There's your pen nib.
That is true. That I really, really like. Honestly, I didn't have much difficulty with the intangibility, but a large reason that I didn't have much difficulty with the intangibility on enemies, like determining whether it was there, is because I would just chump and attack against them. If I'm playing too fast, just figure it out that way.
No, but I mean, it's only Nemesis, unless you're playing a lot of modded stuff, and Nemesis is deterministic. It's every other turn, so it's not a huge deal, but it's kind of nice, and it looks cool when you get intangible, too. The pen nib reminder is super nice, and it's a nice glowing purple. I'm a flan. Big flan.
Big old flan.
This pen nib is huge.
Yeah,
This pen nib is huge.
It's doing so good. Whole deck just overperforming ridiculously.
It's the Dream Team Silent deck. Synergy package.
You know what? I'd take a Catalyst. Give me a Catalyst.
I was just thinking that myself the previous fight. Like, we don't need it, but am I going to say no? Survive that Tactician. Keep going. Go ham. Oh, wait. Are you trying to... Is the consideration pen nib?
Yep.
Huh. Huh.
I think we're commonly able to block enough on this turn that it's... Never mind, I'm bad.
It's all right. We just take some damage. We're probably... We all right.
Yeah, it's fine. We're just healing it all back up later anyway. If we do take a card here, we get extra health from the Eternal Feather.
Yeah. And you know what? That might save us life in this next fight. We're set up. Oh, it's too early for Ascender's Bane.
Shame. But you know what it's not too early for?
Speed Potion.
5 extra
block
decks.
For the heart fight. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So good. Oh, dude.
Every turn, trigger it instantly. It's also an energy pump for other cards in our hand.
Yeah, I think it's worth.
Yeah.
I think it's worth. But
Ooh.
Rhapsody, did you know that when you play Powers in the Awakened one fight, every time you play a power against the Awakened one, the boss becomes stronger?
Wait, what? They should explain that mechanic somewhere.
It's hard to believe, and frankly unfair.
That's just rude.
It is. We've like already won this fight.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Poison is so good against this literal lad. Oh, yep.
All powers online turn. Never mind, there's a Noxious Fumes in here as well.
What's curious about this is that while we've won this fight, I think we have basically no chance of killing this enemy. We're very consistent, but scaling up 900 damage is not something that we do very quickly.
Yeah, we scale linearly, not multiplicatively. Like, we would need
with
something
the poison.
Okay, yes. Poison,
super linear.
Yeah. I mean more like we're not limit breaking our strength.
Right,
we're not catalyzing that poison, that kind of thing.
Totally. Yeah. Those are the biggest number plays for sure.
I think I'm gonna try and just get another 10, 9, 11. Another 11 attacks out.
Somewhere in that range, right? It's not hard for this deck to do. We're playing 6 attacks a turn like very regularly.
Yeah.
Huge. Okay, hold up though. We did 200 damage here. That's pretty good. That's pretty hype. We're already at, is that in the 30s on poison?
Yep, 31.
Okay, I'm feeling good.
Do you think we go for the kill? I think we've spent way too long. It's no longer possible.
I don't think that we can get the kill because we only have 2 turns, but I'm saying I feel good about the run. That's very solid to look at on the screen. We can keep going on attacks. We can cycle again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta. Some even more poison on there. Come on, Blade Dance. It's fine. It's in the acrobatics. Come on, Blade Dance.
It's in the next acrobatics.
Yeah, that's what I was saying the entire time. There we go. Blade Dance!
There it is. Keep going. Play the Blade Dance and then acro again. And we'll hit Tactician again. And then we'll keep going. Why stop when we can continue instead?
It's a good point well made.
Play 2 cards, maximize Tactician chances?
Get him. We failed, but we happened to leave on the pen nib.
This is a grand finale. This fight is dropping a grand finale. Dang it.
What a shame. Hey, Flechette's a lot of multi-attack.
Yeah.
It's a lot of applications of poison and of strength.
Yeah, it's pretty legit. I dig it. It's the card draw that really sells it, right?
Mm-hmm. I also just want the upgrade on it. Like, it's 9 extra health.
Mm-hmm. Big agree. So I think we play no powers, maybe.
Tools of the trade at least.
And we don't need it for the consistency, honestly. I really think we might be able to get away with no power here. As long as we can kill these cultists within the first, like, 3 to 4 turns.
Okay, let's play a little bit of this hand before we decide, because I
Sure.
still really want the tools of the trade.
Oh, to be clear, I don't disagree that it's really relevant to the deck. I just am looking... Oh, we played
Footwork at
always.
least, yeah.
Yeah.
That's exempted from the discussion that we were just having, because
Yes.
it scales our defense more than it scales the enemy's offense. And what we're talking about when we're saying we don't want to play powers is we don't want to scale their offense.
Yeah. And sometimes you roll into this fight, oh, double dagger spray, nice. Nice. That's a huge opener, actually.
So just gonna split those two. Okay. Rest of the deck, what do we got? Oh, hang on. It's tools of the trade, but it's tools of the trade for a weirder reason.
Okay.
More control over not getting other powers back into our hand.
Okay, just to kind of smooth out the draws.
Yes.
Okay. This means no Envenom, no Infinite Blades, nothing until the split.
Yep.
Which is weird. So, just as kind of a meta note for people watching, I joke, you gotta remember, I've played this fight like a million times, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can afford to just play a ton of powers. And the times when that's the case are when playing powers scales your defense beyond the scaling of Awakened One's ×4 attack. So the great example here was Footwork, or perhaps when playing powers is countered by some other effect you have. Sure, you play powers, but then you undo the strength gain with Disarm or Malaise. And the third example is most commonly witnessed on defect runs, to where playing powers causes you to do so much damage that it just doesn't matter that Awakened One is scary.
Yep.
But in most cases, you have to be thoughtful. And this is a fight that asks you, hey, do you really need to play that power? And that's why this is a deck that I think, because it's not so great at scaling block and is actually better at it first and second cycle with Piercing Whales, we're a bit more careful. That being said, we can Piercing Whale cheese this fight. But I think that the Shuriken scaling is enough. Don't you think?
I think the Shuriken scaling is good. There we go. That's what I was waiting for. Boom.
Oh my gosh.
We take a little bit of damage here, maybe, but deflex. There we go. A little less damage now.
Heck yeah. Not bad. Hopefully we can Piercing Whale cheese. That would be nice for second cycle, although, frankly, our damage is scaling up so fast that we're getting to the points where I'm thinking, like, maybe we do end up just playing Envenom the next time we see it. I don't know. I don't think it's Fumes, right?
We haven't discarded anything yet. Nope, we discarded something, apparently.
Tools of the trade. Tools of the trade.
About that.
Yeah.
What I remembered is I have not played a card that scales anything.
Right. That would be a cool little thing to, like, show some deactivation on Hovering Kite. That would be a nice touch.
Yeah, I kind of assumed it would have that. I imagine maybe before I discard a card in a turn, it'll, like, pulse a little. And now that it's inert, that's what's going on.
Right. Yeah, it may.
Get that blur out there as well. And, you know, it's the trip.
We're on 4 strength.
You know what?
Just calculate the sand.
Yeah. Calc those, because we can easily draw back into them with the acrobatics.
Yep. And we've got 5 energy, right? We want to be able to use it. The hand is happening. I would acro again. Chance of Tactician.
Sure.
It's like probably the best thing we can do.
Acro again. Ooh, that's a flechette.
That's a dead dude.
Rip in rip, dude.
Yeah, we destroyed this fight.
Oh,
that was a. Wow, nice draw. Dude, that was the kind of setup that would have made me really, really comfortable to take a second boss at Ascension 20. How did you feel? Did you feel good about Tools of the Trade? Do you feel good about skipping all the other powers? Because that was very much that was not I mathed it out. That was, this is my intuition based on doing this fight a bunch of times.
Okay, if I'm running off exclusively my intuition, I would have run into that fight. I would have played the Infinite. I would have played in Venom. I wouldn't have played Noxious. I would have played the other two powers. Until we end up with the Awakened One scaling by 2 strength. It was only scaling by 1 at that point, so it felt a little more comfortable.
That's a good point. You know, and you might actually be able to get away with that, but then playing that line, I would argue, requires you to set up the Piercing Whale Cheese. Whereas with this line, we were able to just kind of split when we split.
We have both Piercing Whales still left in the deck? Or did we used one early? Okay, cool.
We used one on, I think the first 6x4.
It's very much a case of, like, how do you want to win now?
Yeah.
But I'm just going to try and steward it well until the very end, at least.
Yeah.
And get a couple
Why not?
Yeah. Seems reasonable. What do we want in the shop next floor? Because we're taking in 217, so we could get a common relic.
I mean, I can tell you what I think is the single strongest card that we could find in the shop.
Please do.
And that's a Wraith form. I struggle to imagine something much better. Especially with orange pellets, we can afford to play it just the second we draw it. Fun fact, discarding Void does not prevent you from dealing with its effect.
Yeah.
You have to draw it twice.
Triggers the effect on draw.
Yeah, that one's bitten me so many times. Oh, we have Pen Nib set up too. You're a genius.
Yeah, that's like I went for the Void discard there because I knew I had enough attacks left in hand, and I just wanted to set up. That's another thing. As I mentioned, like I mentioned that off camera before we started, that I was more weighting the meta benefits in terms of fighting, using a feed, trying to consistently get those off, trying to get consistently the wishes off. Another thing that I've been doing in my own time, doing my own runs, is leaving my charges on 9. Or 3, as the case may be, 2, sorry, as the case may be for Sundial or the Happy Flower even. Yeah.
Here's a fun question. When do you want Pen Nib not on 9? There's a few cases, I think.
When you have Finisher and you're setting up for a Finisher, when you have like Carve Reality and you're setting up for the Smite, like situations where you're using, obviously if you're using a vulnerability, so Crush Joints beforehand. Oftentimes
I think Watcher's the big one.
Yeah.
Because like Eruption is just your answer for how to get Wrath for so much of the run. And you want to play that before your big card, right? Oh.
Do we just make the deck way more consistent by swiping all these?
I think so. I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually looking at this Hand Drill and the Nunchaku a little bit. I think they're both relevant here.
Hand Drill? Really?
Yeah. There's block on these enemies.
Wait, does the heart block?
Not the heart. The Act 4 elites.
Oh.
We would only get one fight out of it, and we would have to think that it does something very significant in that fight. And Act 4 elites do represent a lot of damage to us. But I don't know how much it saves us. Like, if I had seen it before Donu Deka in the previous act, then I'm getting real excited about a Hand Drill. Hand Drill is, I think, commonly underrated, but I agree with your kind of meh. I don't think it... I think that between that and Nunchaku here, we probably pick Nunchaku. But I think...
Agree.
I like your triple swipe.
I've relented on my triple swipe by one choice.
Panache.
I like the
Panache,
but it's not.
What is it?
Doesn't scale.
It does. It's linear scaling AoE damage.
Mine is deflect acrobatics, remove the strike.
Okay, I'm kind of going into the thought cave here briefly. Today is one of those days to where I'm having more trouble than usually. I'm an external thinker. I have to speak to think, but today I'm able to think, which is very strange. I said panache jokingly, but I am really chewing on it here for a second because the big thing that I want to solve is what is our most rapid and safe path through the Act 4 elites? Because to be frank, I think, particularly with the potions that we have, this deck beats the heart. It can do it. But if we limp into the heart at 30 health, we don't.
I get it.
So
I
think that's important.
So I will admit every single pitch I've made so far has been predicated on the heart being the harder of the two challenges we're about to face. I agree with you that we already kill the heart. So yeah, we should look and focus towards things that help us take out the elites. I'm happy to take the panache.
Caltrops is interesting because Caltrops is a lot of damage against the Act 4 elites, particularly the spear. Having two of them is not so bad, and then like we can afford to be so defensive against the heart because we're doing an extra 10 by 16, 160 damage a cycle with Caltrops value, right? It's like pretty rad. So that's I do think that that's a real answer to both fights. I think panache is a weird one in that I think once we have it live, we trigger it every turn. There's almost never a turn where we're not triggering panache. Between cloak and daggers, blade dance, grow and gaining energy.
Teak.
What? Hit me.
We have exactly enough money to take Caltrops and Nunchaku.
Okay, that's pretty good too.
Do
you like this panache though? Are you excited about it?
I am a little excited about it because we have so many cards played each turn, but the Caltrops contributes towards both fights, whereas the panache mostly contributes towards the ones upcoming. But this contributes heavily in both fights as well. It feels like this is the middle ground, but it also achieves a similar-ish, I think, power level to the other ground.
And here's the other thing that I think I've just kind of sold myself on. I'm willing to use both Liquid Memories and Power Potion in the Act 4 Elite, if it helps. As long as we keep Speed Potion, I think we've done okay.
Well, do we want to consider then whether we use the Power Potion on turn 1? In case it's noxious fumes, obviously.
I think we should. I think it's very likely to save us a lot of health. It's
1,000 cuts, right? Yeah.
Is it ever infinite blades? 2 shivs is perfect control. Turning around, it gives us even more envenom procs. It helps us scale shuriken even faster. It's more control over pen nib. It may actually be more damage than the unupgraded 1,000 cuts. It's not, right?
I don't think it is.
Okay. It's 1,000 cuts. You're right.
The only reason I don't think it is because 1,000 cuts is quote unquote upgraded here because we're hitting 2 enemies with it, right? So it's got its 2.
Yeah.
And we play so many cards each turn.
We do. It's our panache. There's our panache.
Yeah, exactly. This is just a panache that does it gradually.
Gradually and slower.
Oh.
It's a panache.
Wait, hang on. Should we backflip first and possibly keep drawing?
I like... do we have Envenom
online? 36 right now. Yeah, we just picked it up.
I like flechettes at the spear. Or at the shield, rather. I like flechettes to your shield and then backflip. I think backflip is not... Is it likely to make 2 skills? It's pretty likely to make 2 skills and we get to get aggro. Okay. I think you're right. I think it's backflip. I do think we should flechettes the shield and then turn around with, like, blade dance.
Yeah, do we just want to kill it?
Yeah.
All right, fine. We'll kill it, I guess. Next turn.
We can kill it with blade dance, right? Are we there?
Let's go for 1 on you, and then hit you for that, and then neutralize, and then I'm just going to go straight for the walls now.
Nice. Oh, that is a huge fight. We don't need any more potions, too.
Yeah.
It's Mondo.
Two. And yeah, we're totally outside the cycle of this entire fight.
Let's
for a while.
Go. GG. I think the power potion was worth.
Definitely agreed.
I mean, we had the crazy draw, and we probably could have gotten away with not doing it, but that saved us both of these other potions. Huge.
Just gonna cycle for more damage. Try and finish it out a little bit quicker if possible.
Oh, Rhapsody, that was such a master stroke. That was really, really strong fight. You know, I think I would have clicked the flechettes, and I certainly would have been wrong. Because looking at the draw, not only was the skill density high, there were 3 acrobatics, you know? It's like the odds of getting even more draws. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, it just felt like it was on the right balance for me. And I will admit, again, that was a consideration where, like, the same as the first floor, I had the aggressive hand and then I had a defensive hand next that I kind of felt was there. I felt it was there, and then you're right, I needed to check because it's possible that maybe I did draw an extra acrobatics in the opening turn, and maybe it skews the other way then.
Yeah. Also, I think I would have skipped the flechettes, and I'm so glad we didn't. It's huge. Oh, leg sweep. That leg sweep is
extra weakened.
So good. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. I'm excited. Do we just speed potion turn 1?
Yeah, 100%.
Do we have an attack? Oh yeah, we have neutralize.
We do.
We're good.
That might be one of the biggest values we just got out of that. Also love the extra draw there. Should have cut out a card first, but whatever. That's one of the biggest things of I have derailed myself. What was I just saying? The bottle flame, guaranteeing that we have a neutralizing the opening hand, because unless we get a shiv generating card.
Yeah, we've already got infinite blades. We've got that, and most of the rest of the deck is skills. So, yeah, that's big true. Caltrops for sure this turn. It's gotta happen.
Shame to miss out on the blade dance.
Did we play our skill? We played leg sweep, right?
Oh yeah, we already did it. It's done.
Yeah. So maybe there's a chance that we play Liquid Memories next turn. Let's see what our draw is. But the thing that I'm thinking is going to happen is we're going to need a little help getting our orange pellets proc, especially since we've already Centennial puzzled.
Nope. We're fine.
No, we're gold. Solved. GG.
Oh my good gosh.
Oh my god. There it is. 150 Caltrops damage. Pretty fast.
And we even get to keep the energy with the ice cream for the next turn. Don't have to throw this out if we don't want to. I mean, we could get a point of strength for one damage
let's
taken.
Wait for flechettes. Flechettes is coming.
Yes. If we want to set up real bad for flechettes, we could even use the liquid memories to get back in acrobatics.
That's becoming outrageous. There it is. Do you draw gang? What's our draw?
I do. How about we tools the trade, noxious fumes.
Okay.
Pull back the acrobatics and do the actual dumb thing that I just said.
Yeah, do it.
Love it.
It's hilarious. Play that slime too. Get rid of that thing.
Oh hell yeah. It's not a skill.
Get out.
It doesn't have any place in our hand.
Brr.
This is a lot less damage than I thought it was going to be. Backflip? Backflip.
Sure. Boop.
No, there's an acrobatics.
I do think it's Flechette's crippling at this point, right? Flechette's crippling cloak.
I like it.
I'm not too worried. I'm not going to lie to you. We're on turn 3. Across the first several big hits from the heart, we've taken a fat whopping 0 damage, basically. We've only taken damage from Beat of Death. The heart's already 300 damage deep. It's taking 160 damage around from our Caltrops. It's, I don't want to say that the grave is already dug. The only thing that we could do to lose would be to play that Piercing Wail. That could lose the fight.
What do you think about, what do you think about waiting until the enemy is about to bump and Piercing Wail? What about that though? I'm just trying to get some...
I've done that. And then I was like, why is it turn 5 and doing a like 12 by 15? That's so big.
It's so rude.
Yeah. To clarify for those who don't know this interaction, it's pretty gnarly. The heart does not remove all debuffs on its buff turns, unlike, say, some enemies who remove most or all of their debuffs, like Champ. Champ removes things including poison. Heart does not remove poison. Heart does not remove weaken. Heart removes a very specific debuff on its first and then every third turn. The debuff it removes is minus strength. So if you play Piercing Wail actually has a debuff and then another effect. The debuff is minus strength, and then the other effect is gain strength at the end of the turn. So if you're Piercing Wail on that turn 4, they get rid of the minus 8 strength and then also gain 8 more. You have effectively buffed the heart. Don't do it. It's not good.
Why don't you do that and take a brimstone into the heart? You know, actually really have a
Just
show.
go ham.
150 damage every time they do that. It's so beautiful.
Drops. It sure is good.
We have to finish the fight with the Shiv, I'm afraid.
GG. What a dominant Act 4.
Oh, GG, Teak.
The Awakened one fight was hairier than these two.
Yeah, I agree. Although, with a slightly worse draw, I can see how the Spire Shield and Spear would have been way more annoying.
Yeah. Setting up Pen Nip was a big deal, and you did that really consistently in this run, and I think that like smoothed out the surface a ton.
I was very focused, like I was hyper focused in fact, like on trying to get it for the Awakened fight, specifically because we were already talking about the chomps being the thing that we really needed to worry about.
Yep.
At the start of the clear. I was just trying to carrying it through.
Yeah, that was awesome. And getting the doubled dagger spray on turn 1 is a lot of what let us not have to play those other powers and kind of simplified the block in that fight. It was huge. GG. Sweet run. Value stuff Silent. This is just quintessential Silent. It's awesome.
I love that this 33 card deck is like, it plays like a 10, 15.
Oh my gosh, we could cycle it every other turn. Yeah.
Oh, if only we had Sundial.
Wow, yeah, a 33-card Sundial-focused energy generating deck. That's the real deal. At that point, do you throw in another calculated gamble?
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%.
You do, right? Because like when you draw it, you play Acro, and then you just click the card to cycle.
I have enough times built an infinite with the Silent using things like Calculated Gamble, Acrobatics, and Tactician, and just having a super thin deck and just going constantly.
Well, and what's crazy about Silent is that Silent is the class who can set up these crazy infinites to where she is consistently infinite while still having like genuinely 30 cards in the deck or 20 cards in the deck. Not to say it's easy, but you can get there. Because some upgrades. Oh my god.
We should have upgraded the strike and defense.
No, I'm glad that they're not, because it makes it clear that this was not Mind Bloom. This was just sheer force of omelet. This was the real deal.
That is a really good point, because if it was anything except for starter cards, we could have just picked it up after the Mind Bloom. This is the only way to kind of prove it. I mean, without scrubbing through all of
We did some real upgrading too, though. Did we upgrade 4 cards in Act 1? We rested 1 time, right? Or am I misremembering?
We did upgrade a huge amount of cards on Act 1. The one of the big benefits.
But we get Shining Light.
Yes, we had Shining Light for 2 of the upgrades, and then we did 2 upgrades, I think, in stores ourselves. As well as the rest. Hey, great run, Teak. Great run. What would you, Segway's getting worse and worse. What would you say? Hey, but, Teak, I've heard of this website called twitch.tv.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to go on there and stream some gameplay. Now, if you were some sort of a resident broadcaster over at twitch.tv/sneakyteak, what would you be streaming?
Sure. Some kind of, like, resident broadcast personality.
That evil.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you when, which is Saturdays and even like Sundays and every other day of the week except for Friday. I come in to work every day to play games. Theoretically at a place called twitch.tv/sneakyteak.
Now, if you were playing games on, again, some sort of a theoretical channel, you might be a resident broadcaster personality on twitch.tv/sneakyteak.
Yeah.
What kinds of games do you think you might want to play?
Well, in this quantum universe that only exists once you've observed it, which is not even just a joke. It's actually mostly true about being a broadcaster. You don't exist until you observe. There is no more quantum state than being a broadcaster as a career.
Yeah, exactly. What sound does a streamer make if he falls in the forest? And
It's the sound of an empty wallet. Yeah. In this quantum stream verse that I might or might not exist in, I do like to play games like Slay the Spire, Monster Train, Risk of Rain 2 I've been hitting pretty hard. I tried to play some, oh god, what's the name of it? Spiritfarer the other day.
Ooh, neat.
Oh, it's a gorgeous game. I really, unfortunately, I had some weird audio problems with it, so I had to quit. But that game it's nice. It's really nice.
So
recommended. Thanks for having me on the show, by the way.
There's also some VODs of a thing that you did yesterday that I will want to mention because I think people may be particularly interested in it.
Yeah, that's not on my channel, actually. So that's another theoretical quantum broadcaster by the name of Baylor Lord, who is someone who broadcasts a lot of Slay the Spire as well. Very incredible player, and we've done some collabs together. We talk a lot about Ladder Streak and Ascension 20 Slay the Spire. And we did a collaboration yesterday on Twitch on his channel where we played some Ascension 20 small deck runs. Now, he had previously done a ladder with a rule that no deck could leave the heart fight with more than 20 cards. So it's a big constraint, and our goal was to see, okay, well, can we do that a couple times at Ascension 20? And the answer is you should go watch the VODs because the runs were great.
I'm going to link that VOD as well as the theoretical hypothetical Twitch channel that sits at twitch.tv/sneakyteak. Both of those links found in the description down below, as well as all of my history playing Slay the Spire, past, present, and future, including, I will take a moment to say, in case people are watching this and not the Downfall series, I'm doing a Downfall series. It's playing a giant modded expansion campaign created by some of my favorite modders for Slay the Spire. It's been extremely overdue that I started. The developer actually gave me early access to it, and then I just disappeared for 2 months. So, oops. I smoothed over everything by talking with them afterwards, but I am now so super excited about the game. I was very trepidatious about doing more modded stuff. I think to me it represented in my mind a return not just to full-time work but to the pace that knocked me out for 2 months. And that kind of got intermingled with doing a Slay the Spire modded series in my mind. And now that I've been able to talk through that and disentangle those two and actually start the Slay the Spire modded series, oh my god, am I having so much fun. Play Downfall.
It can feel like homework, but it's not. You can't see it through the microphone, but I'm beaming because this is not... Rhapsody had all this to say and more off camera. Like, just nothing but good things to say about this mod.
Yeah, I am over the moon with it. You can find a link to that in the description down below. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves. This has been Slay the Spire, Ladder Streak with sneakyteak, and hopefully we'll see you next week.